Hi, I'm Chris Kendle, Family Consumer Sciences Extension Educator with Ohio State University Extension in Tuscarawas County. And today I'm going to be making a sausage, pepper, and tomato with orzo dish. This has quickly become one of my family's favorites, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. Before we get started, we're going to head over to the sink and wash our hands. So why don't you take a moment and do that as well. Let's go over some of the ingredients that we're going to have in this recipe. So we're going to have 2 cups of chicken broth, which is about the amount that is in this 14.5-ounce container. I'm using a low sodium version of the chicken broth, but that's your preference if you'd like to use a low sodium or a regular. I'm also going to put in a cup of water to cook our orzo. Speaking of orzo, here's our orzo pasta, and I'll have you zoom in here. Just some may have seen what orzo really looks like, and so it looks kind of like little pieces of barley here. And actually, that's what its name refers to, is that appearance of barley. But it is a pasta, and it's usually made with a durum wheat base. So orzo is a very flexible kind of pasta, adds a lot of interest to a dish. Then we're going to have our Italian sausage. So this is a pound of sausage. I'm going to cook that over here on our George Foreman. You can cook it up in a skillet if you would like. And have our olive oil, have our garlic, going down the list here, our Roma tomatoes. And I skipped our bell peppers. So for our bell peppers, I'm actually using a green bell pepper, but then I'm going to use a colored, the orange pepper here for a little bit of interest as well. And as we always say, nutrients come in colors, so we're going to add a little color in here. Have our Italian parsley, some fresh grated Parmesan, and then add salt and pepper to taste. So let's go ahead and get started cooking. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my sausage on my George Foreman grill, which has already been heating up a little bit. Just going to place this across here, get that evenly spaced. And then I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again since I have touched that raw sausage. I'm going to make sure that this cooks to a minimum internal temperature of 155 degrees. So while my sausage is cooking and my water and broth mixture is heating for that orzo pasta, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut my peppers. And easy way to cut these here, just to kind of slice down. Get that inside out. And then I'm just going to slice it into these thin strips. I want to get this sliced up quick so that I can get it into my skillet and get that cooked to a nice tender crisp quality. Okay, so our water has come to a boil, or water and broth I should say has come to a boil. I'm going to add my orzo, which is about half a box as your 8 ounces. This is a 16-ounce box, so we're going to go ahead and add about half that box, and then I'm going to let that cook for about 8 minutes. So here we are over at the stove. I'm going to go ahead and turn my skillet on. I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use less if you'd like. Go ahead and put that into my skillet with my peppers. And again, I have that on a medium heat. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put in 2 of my cloves of garlic. And you can see here, our orzo is cooking nicely. Now with the pasta, when you're cooking pasta, I always have it on a high to get to that boiling point. But then as soon as you have the pasta added, as long as it's boiling, you really don't have to have that on a high. The pasta just needs to boil to soften up the starch granules that are in that pasta. And so I turn that down a little bit so as to not waste quite so much energy. There we go. I'm going to let those cook a bit, again to that tender crisp. And I'm going to return to our cutting board and cut up our Roma tomatoes. Okay, we're back over to the cutting board, and I'm going to go ahead and slice up my Roma tomatoes. Something I didn't mention, but it's really important, is you want to make sure that you do rinse all of your produce just with water that is slightly warmer than the produce itself. You want to make sure that you do that just before you start cooking. You don't want to rinse it and then have it stored in your fridge, as that can actually promote additional bacterial growth, and we don't want that. So you're just going to rinse it right before you use it, and then go ahead and get it chopped up. And no fancy, anything needed for that rinse. You can just use your tap water. Potable tap water is all you need. And again, I do leave my peels on my tomatoes here. Lots of nutrients in that peel. The tomatoes are a great source of lycopene, and that lycopene is actually more bioavailable when the tomato is cooked, and in fact when it's cooked and has some oil present. So this is a perfect dish for this, that we're going to go ahead and combine this with our peppers, and we'll have that olive oil in there and good accessibility of that lycopene. Okay, I'm going to clean my thermometer with an alcohol swab, and again, I mentioned I do want to make sure that these are minimum internal temperature of 155, and we are there. We are definitely well cooked. Clean that off. And it is important to always check the internal temperature of your meats. I'm going to chop them up. This is kind of loud. I'm going to use my mix and chop. And mix that up, chop it up, add the last few bits of sausage in here. Orzo is just about done. Got that all chopped up. Okay, so if you want to come over here and take a quick look at our progress over here, we got our Orzo cooking up, and again, it's almost done. We want it to be nice and kind of al dente, so not mushy, but just nice doneness. Now the directions do say to drain off the liquid, and I would say good luck with that. So actually I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to combine everything in the pot here, and we'll have a nice one dish meal going on here. That extra liquid that's left over isn't going to hurt us one bit. And we're to the point in the recipe, we're going to go ahead and combine everything. You can't smell it, but I assure you it smells delicious with these peppers here in the bag. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add my tomatoes into my Orzo. Mix that up a bit. I'm going to add my peppers in here. And my garlic. Put those in my dish. Now if you prefer, you could have those peppers more of like a fine dice, and that's just fine as well if you want to do that route. I'm going to go ahead and put in my Italian sausage, all that seasoning there, you see, lovely. And give that another nice mix. And then last of all, I'm going to pour in my Parmesan. Mix that up. It makes almost like a saucy cheese coating here on my dish. And finally, I'm going to add in just a little bit of our Italian parsley. So I'm going to pull out my herb snips, and I'm going to just add a little bit of that, sprinkle onto the top. Up to you how much you really like parsley and how much you want to put in there. And there we go, all done.